Hello and welcome back to the Abramelin journal. I'm Lee Johnson. If you're not sure what this is about because you stepped in right here because this is part 4, just have a look at the playlist and check out the first video, part 1, and that'll explain what this is, why I'm doing it, and I'll give you some idea of why you're watching this in the first place. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on with reading then. This is part 4 of the Abramelin journal. So we go on to the 11th of December 2010 at 12:09 p.m. and it's titled Practice Morning. This morning's practice was the first in the operation. I forgot to check the time on the clock before starting to see how long the entire process would take, so we'll have to do that tonight. The process is as follows: 1. Mother breath. 2. Tuning and toning. 3. Pour breath with hands. 4. Kabbalistic cross. 5. Creating sacred space. 6. Defining sacred space. 7. Body of light. 8. Descending into nil point. I started the drumming before starting here. Should start drumming when descent has been done. I'm not sure why I made that note, but anyway. 9. Proceed to Astral Temple. 10. Perform work. And 11. Return. From the point of final descent to the Astral Temple, I found I stepped out of the elevator and took a short walk into a thick mist. The mist then cleared, and I was on a path. The scenery was all very dark, the kind that has not been properly developed, but the path itself was lit up, together with the entrance into the forest. Just as a side note, this is obviously the path working that I took to get to the Astral Temple. It's the path towards it. And the elevator itself is a method I was taught where you descend the tree of life into a particular sephira. So I used the elevator in this procedure to do the same type of thing. So it's descending in an elevator into the underworld, basically, and into the Astral Realm. Okay, let me continue. When I entered the forest, there was an opening with a stone wall circle in the middle. The trees formed a canopy which opened at the top into a circle of light. On the 4 cardinal points of the stone wall circle are little altar tops, and in the center is a stone altar the same as those on the wall. I spoke to God and then did taking on the name. Seemed more appropriate whilst in the temple doing the work, as it is in effect a prayer. The drumming finished abruptly after 15 minutes and didn't go on to the next track, so I have put the 2 tracks together now. Definitely not enough time to do what I need to do in the circle though, which is why I think I should only start the drumming after descent. The drumming obviously was a recorded track that I was playing in the background while I was doing the astral work. The drumming helped to a degree, not blocking out all of the sound, as it is very loud in my temple, but allowed me to keep focus on the matter at hand. Then we go on to the 20th of December 2010 at 6:48 a.m, and it's titled Bus Journeys. Getting to your temple is obviously something you would need to accomplish, and there is a variety of ways in order to do this. I will discuss 3 such methods here, which are more shamanic in nature and that of path working. To start off with, path working, or visual meditation, is one whereby you create a storyline, so to speak. The manner in which we got to the temple in the work we did with the group mentioned before in relation to the dark and light time discussion, that was in part 3 I think, was to imagine ourselves on a bus. The bus got to a certain point and we got off and followed a path to the temple. What becomes important here is to imagine all of the details, the sounds, the smells, the bumpy road, everything, and build up those details to make the journey as real as possible so that you take your consciousness into it. Shamanic methods would be the standard one, which takes you down a hole in the earth, either through the base of a tree, a well, or some other opening in the ground that would take you down. Bad writing here, hang on. You would take the journey through a tunnel until you reach your destination, and then walk along a path to the temple. The two latter methods can be found all over the web and in many books, so I'm going to speak about one that works extremely well and is not discussed everywhere. It is actually very similar to the shamanic journey of moving down the tunnel, but it takes you into a much deeper trance state. Start by sitting quietly and bring your attention to an elevator door. Okay, so I explained the elevator here, so I didn't need to explain it just now. Imagine yourself walking into the elevator and seeing the number 10 lit up. That is, you are on the 10th floor. Then take in a deep breath, and on the exhalation, feel yourself moving down with the elevator. Sense that sinking feeling that you would feel if in a real elevator, and feel yourself moving down into the inner worlds. When the breath has finished, the number 9 will light up. Repeat this through each of the floors until you reach 0. And then the elevator doors open and you step out. What you step into is a blank space, just darkness. No sound, no sight, nothing. Eventually a mist comes towards you and you start to move forward into it. After a short distance, the mist starts to clear and you are in a landscape which will then lead to your temple. When you have finished, trace your steps back and to the mist. Step into the mist and then out into the nothingness. The elevator door appears, opens, and you step into the elevator. Now you begin the journey back up from 0. This time, with each in-breath, you move up and come to a stop on each floor as its number lights up on the panel. Then, when you reach 10, the doors open and you step out and sit back on your chair where you started. You may see your body there, so just sit back into your body. Then we go on to the 20th of December 2010, 7:13 a.m. It's titled Putting It All Together. Now to throw everything in the mix and get some order out of it. The process I have been describing would go something like this. 1. Mother breath. 2. Tuning and toning the body. 3. Pour breathing through the hands. 4. Kabbalistic cross. 5. Creation of sacred space. 6. Defining the sacred space. 7. Body of light. 8. Journey to the inner world. 9. Progress to temple. 10. Taking on the name. 11. Any other rituals or prayers you may wish to do. And 12. Come back to the physical realm. Exercises 1 to 3 are necessary as they get energy moving through and around the body, which is vital to the whole process. Whether you perform a sacred space creation is up to you. I like to do this when moving into the inner world, as it sets up the space between worlds and gets energy flowing within that space you are working. You may decide to do the LBRP, which is the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, or some other sacred space creation. That is up to you. The body of light is an aid to movement between worlds, so you can choose to do this or not. Maybe try it with and without and see if it makes any difference, but bear in mind that to build up the body of light can take a period of time, so don't try it once or twice and decide it is useless. When in your temple, you can do whatever you want. Follow the Abramelin book to the T or not. It is necessary to do the prayers, which is why I feel taking on the name is such a good one to use. So, pick and choose those things that matter to you and fit into your own practice. Remember, when we speak of God, we are referring to a force or power that exists in all things and in no thing. So find your own manner in which to identify with this, whether it be God, the All, Old Dame Fate, or whatever. Then the 20th of December 2010 at 7:40 a.m. I am going to be doing the temple work in the evenings only. If I attempt to do them both mornings and evenings, then I will have some days which become impossible, as mornings have become unpredictable and I may not even be around to do the work. This in itself will cause me to become negative to my own dedication to the work, which will lead to me dropping it. This is not an excuse or a procrastination, it is just an observation from past experience. It is something to bear in mind. If you are battling to actually keep the time of your practice the same day every day, you're going to get demotivated and you'll probably end up dropping it. Excuse me. You'll probably end up dropping it completely. So find a time of day that fits you and you can keep at continuously. Then the 21st of December 2010, 3:32 p.m. I've made a note here, full moon, full lunar eclipse, not sure of exact time, could have been yesterday. Okay, I don't know why I just didn't check it before I put that note in, but anyway. The mornings are going to be dedicated to prayer, just simple prayer. I am doing the mother breath followed by breathing of the universal element and then just prayer, speaking to God. What I discovered this morning was that I actually don't know how to speak to God. Sure, I used to do it when I was younger and when I was a Christian, or at least I thought so. The problem is that I now have a better understanding of what God is. Ergo, I found myself wondering how I have a conversation or even ask for assistance with or from a power that exists in all things. I can't have a dialogue. What this means is that when we speak to God, we are communicating with the entire cosmos. When we ask for assistance from God, we channel our way through the power and target certain energies that are synonymous with that problem to aid us. Otherwise, we are communicating with everything, all gods, entities, beings, plants, animals, birds, humans, aliens, planets, stars, everything. It's true. Okay, then a small note on the 21st of December 2010 at 5:19 p.m. It's the full moon. Oh, I forgot to mention that I was given instructions to make a list of 7 things that I want in my life. Once done, to put it under my pillow when I sleep. Okay, I must have got an instruction while I was doing the rituals. From God, whoever, I'm not sure. I could have done with a bit more explanation, sorry about that. But as you know, I don't even remember writing this stuff. Alright then, so on to the 21st of December 2010, 8:07 p.m, still full moon. I saw God. I know, it sounds dramatic, but we all see God every day. What does God look like? Imagine a ball of energy with energy coming... What? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry about this. Let me try this again. Imagine a ball of energy with energy coming out of one side, wrapping around and coming back in the other side. Oh, okay. But also doing the reverse on itself, like a 3-dimensional donut. Okay, that is confusing. We are all God. Everything is God. We are just parts of, personalities, manifestations of God. We are archetypes, and we have all agreed to experience ourselves in this manner of physical reality in order to separate and understand all of the parts of God. That doesn't really explain it very well, but it is the best I can do with words. The only way to really understand what I saw, or what I was shown, is to go into me and see it for yourself, or go deep into yourself, until you don't exist as you or I, and you will find my experience. I am and you are that ball of energy with a 3-dimensional donut flowing out of. I am and you are God. I am one personality, one archetype, and you are another archetype. We are it. I hope some of this makes sense. It's kind of making sense to me. I'm sort of recalling things as I read through this. What time is it? 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. And I'll see you in the next part, which will be part 5. Check out the playlist. All of the videos should be in there. The whole reading. Obviously, I'm uploading each part week by week. So if you're watching this as I progress, then obviously it won't all be there, but the previous ones will be. I'm talking rubbish now, so I'm going to go. All right, thanks. Cheers.